my opinion, getting better at golf is 90% how much you practice and how good your practice sessions are. In this video, I'll be showing you how to practice as a +2 golfer with some great drills you can use to work on your game and lower your scores. Make sure you watch through the whole video so you get all the different drills for the different sections of your game.
Okay, so it's just after 7 AM. I'm just having my morning cup of tea. I'm trying to wake up a little bit. But my first tip for the day in terms of going and doing a full scratch golfer practice is to actually plan what you're going to do for the day, because it's really easy to kind of get to the driving range, hit maybe one bad 7-iron or one bad driver, and then just stand there for 2 hours beating that club, trying to make it perfect. And really that's not kind of the most efficient practice and the best use of your time. So I'm literally going to give myself timings for the day, not necessarily down to the minute for each exercise, but definitely blocks of this is driving range time, this is short game time, this is putting time, then I'm going to go on the course. And that's just going to make sure I actually move through all the different areas, do lots of different varied practice, and don't get stuck on one thing. This hotel gym is actually insane. It's pretty rare to see someone with a squat rack. They've literally got everything you could need. Could definitely get a good workout in here. Right, warm up on the treadmill. Rehabbing a knee injury that I sustained, or in this case, not being injured all the time. So we have arrived at West Hill Golf Club, which looks absolutely stunning. Super excited to play here later. This is one of 3 places you can do stay and play packages with Penny Hill Park. There's also Walton Heath and the Berkshire, so 3 incredible options there. First things first, we're going to head to the practice round because that's where I would generally start my practice days. So I think we need to go down here. Now at this point I'm really not thinking about anything technical at all. All I'm trying to do is get our body moving and loosened up, so I'm ready to do other things afterwards. Okay, so now I've warmed up, first thing I want to work on is my pitching. We know if you want to shoot scratch or better, you really need to work on your wedges, because that's where the opportunity is going to be to hit the ball close and convert birdies. So when we're looking at kind of 110 yards down, that's where we need to be dialed in. So for me, knowing my distances with those clubs, knowing the different positions that I need to swing them to hit those yardages is really crucial. So I'm fortunate enough to have a TrackMan. I have that set up with a test in here, and what that is just 10 balls, and it gives me different distances from 30 yards all the way up to 110 yards. It randomizes them and it gives me a score and a handicap based on how close I hit them to my chosen target. So let's do my pitching test, see how we get on today. First up, we've got 40 yards. Let's see how we get on. Ooh. 36, not terrible for carry, but this also evaluates you for direction. Right, next up 80. I mean, it was very thin, but it went 78 yards, so perfect. 90. 90.7, 90 out of 100 it gave me for that. 9.7 free from the pin. We like shots like that. Now what I love about this drill is it's constantly asking you new questions. You've got to go change your club, work on different swing distances. You're constantly thinking, which is like what we're doing out on the golf course. We're not just kind of monotonously hitting golf balls. Okay, results are in. Combined score 66.7, estimated handicap 7. It was going so well, and then I had 110 yards and I clean fasted it and got a score of 0. And also thinned a 50-yard shot, which gave me a score of 26. So I actually feel quite positive overall in terms of the other ones being very consistent. Interesting, the 110 was when I moved into my pitching wedge. I was trying to hit it quite soft. So something to make note of there. And on these shots here where I hit odd thins or fats and I'm not sure why, if there's a technical reason, I'll just make a note of it and then ask my coach next time I see it. So that's a really good thing to do every time you're practicing. Make notes and learn about which bits of your golf you want to improve, and then go and feed that back to the coach. It's going to make your lessons much more valuable and give you much more information on how to improve. Okay, so now that I've warmed up and I've done some short game pitching, distance control, I'm going to move into some technical work. So I have a specific drill that I'm working on at the moment. I'm going to set that up, do it for about 20-30 balls, hopefully not much more than that, and then move back into some games. Now, currently I'm probably doing one of the worst things in the history of the world in terms of changing your golf, and that's changing my grip. It's a really hard thing to do because People think you can just change grip and that'll be fine, but actually you'll have a set release pattern that links to what your grip is. So for me, I have a very strong grip, and a lot of people will do that to shut the face down. Now what that means is I have kind of a slicer's release pattern to balance that out. And when I time those two things and get the blend, I hit the ball quite straight. But on days where I don't balance the two, I can literally hit it off the planet. So for me, what I'm trying to do is neutralize my grip a lot more, have a lot more of a neutral release pattern. So hopefully over time I'm going to be more consistent and bring that dispersion down, especially off the tee with driver, because I've really just been hitting it off the planet recently. So to try and help me with this, I have this little 3-stick drill, which just gives me 1 stick behind the ball, 1 at each side, and that's just to allow me to have like a fade path, a straight path, a draw path, and know how to match different club faces up to it. So that's my technical drill that I'm working on, that I'm going to hit some balls doing now. I can't even explain to you how weird this feels to me. So I'm putting my grip on, getting that left hand more neutral, right hand across, and then for me I have to really feel like I'm shutting the face down for that to match up. It's actually not bad, but I did do this drill for an hour and a half yesterday. So you should be able to see there, those balls going quite far left, but I'm not worried about that, because I know for me with this neutral grip, if I don't overly think about this release pattern, the ball's going to go right. So actually what I want to do is over exaggerate the opposite thing on the driving range. So I know if I kind of hit it really far left on here, it's probably going to be somewhere near straight on the golf course. Now, when you're doing technical drills, it's really important to always have feedback so you know if you're actually doing it correctly and if you're actually getting any better. So in this specific drill, I know exactly where my left thumb needs to be pointed on the grip, also where my right one wants to sit. And I also have a checkpoint for when I finish the swing about where the logo on my glove needs to be pointing, so I know if I've created the motion successfully. Now, on top of that, I'm also going to film it, check visually it looks correct, and send it back to my coach for feedback. So don't just rely on thinking, yeah, this feels right, it's probably right, or yes, the shot looks right. Always have little markers so you can double check, because over time we're always going to try and move back to like our original movement patterns and tendencies. Don't just beat balls when you're doing this. You know, if you're doing 3-4 practice swings before you hit every ball, that's just 3 or 4 extra reps doing the right thing, and that's still going to teach your body just as quickly as hitting the golf ball is. Okay, I've done with my technical drills. Now I'm going to do something that relates more back to the golf course, and that's kind of controlling the start line of our shots. So for me, I know on the golf course, my bad shot goes to the left. So what I'm going to do is just put a stick out and try and hit the ball to the right of it and bring it back. So I'm going to start this with 7-iron, then we'll hit some longer irons, then some woods if I'm brave. Now, I think this is a great drill because just the visuals having that stick there and realising how far right you have to start the ball for it to be right of target is really interesting. You know, the majority of golfers are slicers. So we're starting the ball over here and moving it that way. And actually to see visually how far right that stick looks is really interesting to me. Which makes me think about how I'm lining up on the golf course and where my sight line is looking, and like what visual feedback I'm giving my brain to tell me where to hit the ball on the course. Because actually maybe I'm just looking too far left, and that's why my body and everything's getting out of motion. Well, it started right at the stick, but definitely didn't move back. Oh, that was nice. It's really satisfying when you do it right. Oh, 4-iron time. The long irons are definitely where my left starts to come in, so it's super important to do this drill with them. Oh, I'd just love to hit that shot on the course. I know launch monitors are obviously really expensive, but it's like incredible how much information they can give you and how much better and quicker you can improve if you have that information to hand. Even just going down to like a local range, if they have something like TrackMan or Top Tracer included, can really kind of elevate how quickly you improve your game. Club path face angle, that's what we want. Wow. I've not hit a proper draw like that starts right of a stick and comes back in ages. I know it wasn't like my fastest swing on my best ball flight, and even though I've started that right of that stick, it was still a minus 1.6 club path. And to me that felt so far right. It shows you just how far my feels of like what neutral is at the moment are off. 0.8 to the right, yes. We're in the positives. Now, if you're trying to make face or path changes, they both interconnect. So for me here, as I'm moving my club path to the right, the ball is going to the right because I'm not showing the face down. Just have a little look at what that looks like on my video, just to see if there's anything glaringly obvious from like my lessons that I'm not doing before I hit another 100 like that. Tell you what, that looks so much better. That's given me a lot of confidence just to kind of keep doing this drill. Even though the ball's not necessarily coming out where I want it to, if the numbers are perfect here, it's definitely moving in the right direction. This is why taking video footage is so important. So now I've done my drills, I'm literally going to set up a really simple game. It's just going to be 3 balls with my 4-iron, my 3-wood and my driver. And all I'm going to do is look down the driving range, pick some targets and set myself a fairway. So I think if we kind of take like that far right white flag and then like the middle left white flag here, that's a reasonable sized fairway. And all I'm going to do is hit a 4-iron, a 3-wood, a driver, 4-iron, 3-iron driver, 4-iron, 3-iron driver. You get the picture. And try hit it in the fairway. That fairway looks so wide when you're on here, doesn't it? When you get out there and there's trees and heather. 1 in. Now what's important for me when I do this drill is I don't try and think about every single technical feeling that I've just been feeling about in the previous drills. Those were like extreme things that I was thinking about in practice, but I want to have a much more simple, maybe 1 swing feel in this situation that I'm then going to take out with me on the golf course. So currently, in terms of trying to be a bit more neutral, all I'm thinking about for me once I'm out on the golf course is that there's kind of a stick at 45-degree angles on the plane and I'm working up it and back down it. Now in reality that might not be what I'm doing, but I've found recently that's helping me play consistent, strike it good and keep the ball in place. So that's all I'm thinking about when I'm out on the course. That was nice. Oh. First miss. That's alright. And it's missed a little bit to the right. I can feel the wind's moving that way. I probably should have been a little bit more cautious and moved my start line left. We'll know next time. Now it is really annoying that I'm missing a lot of these right, but in the grand scheme of things, I am trying to get rid of the left shot. So I can't be too grumpy about it. Just a complete flip there, missed all the ones that I made at the start and made the ones I missed. But to be honest, I've concentrated so much there. My bad shots have only missed the edge by maybe 5 yards, so I'd definitely still be comfortably in the semi and I would have a swing. So that's a really good way to just round out your practice session and get you ready to go hit your tee shots on the golf course. Now, I've not even hit a full bucket of balls there, but I've been really productive in terms of what I'm working on, being precise, and I've really seen some improvements in terms of like my path, my club face, my awareness. So next time you go to the range, think about these different things. Really plan what you're going to do before you go. It's going to make you a lot more productive and it's going to make you improve a lot quicker. Okay, short game practice. I don't like to get too overly technical with this, to be honest, because I think a lot of short game is feel and situational and understanding what the lie is going to do, how the ball is going to come out. So I like to create scenarios in practice where I'm kind of developing different shots that I could get out on the golf course and learning how to play them. For this I'm actually using a non-golf app and it's something just called Tiny Decision, which allows you to make like little wheels. So in this I've just put a variety of different shot types, be it a chip and run, a flop shot, a bunker shot, and all of varying lengths. I'm literally just going to spin it. It's going to tell me which shot I've got to hit. I'm going to go and drop a ball from that scenario and then I'm going to hit it. See how close I hit it to the pin, write that down and get an average for my session. So let's just run through a set of this. I'm going to go and hit loads of different types of chip shots, average out my distance, see how I get on. Right, the last thing we need to work on is putting. And for this, initially, all I'm going to do is work on my setup. In putting, it's really important to have a consistent setup because even the ball moving kind of forwards and backwards can really affect how the putter comes into the golf ball and then the quality of the ball roll from there onwards. So what I like to do is just create a little station that gets my setup really consistent so I know time after time I'm setting up to the ball the same. So the first part of this is just getting my mirror, finding a straight putt. So let's do that first. Okay, so I'm pretty happy that's lined up correctly. I'm going to go ahead and T-peg in this mirror so it stays still and then add in the rest of my station. This might look pretty random, but what I'm trying to achieve here is having my feet, my eye line and my distance from the ball like consistent all the time. So I literally just got this bath mat from IKEA, drew around my feet on it, and then I have measurements for how far it needs to be from the ball. So now when I set up to the ball, I know my feet are in the correct position, my ball position's in the right place, and I can check my eye line and my shoulder line. So it's just a really simple way of consistently getting the same setup. That's obviously going to make you more consistent out on the golf course because you're hitting the putts from the same position every time. Okay, next up we're going to cover off some pace putting because most of us would be better at putting full stop if we just 3 putted less. So I'm going to set up a really simple drill here. So we've got 2 flags, they're probably about 45 feet apart, but to be honest you don't even need 2 holes, you could just put T-pegs in at either end. I'm going to start 6 foot from each hole and put a peg in every 3 feet. From there I'm just going to put up and down the hill to each hole and try and get the ball within a club length of the pin. But let's just go for 3 foot each side in terms of distance, and then let's put my stations in for where I'm going to hit from. Now the point of this game is to give you a mixture of uphill and downhill putts and different lengths, so you're going to start with a short uphill and then turn around and do a long downhill. Now there's different ways you can do this. You could just do it and accumulate how many you get in the distance, or the really hard version is if you miss you either have to move back a T-peg or completely start the whole game again. Now I've got tea time in 25 minutes, so probably not going to go for that option. Now obviously with these short ones it's fairly easy to get it in the ring, but once you get to the longer putts it's definitely more difficult. Okay, last up we're just going to do a really simple spiral holing out drill because we all want to hole more short putts. So I'm just going to start at 3 foot, work up to 12 foot in 1 foot increments and try hole as many as I can. Now this is obviously good because not only is it pressure holing out, but it's also testing your green reading as well as just you hitting the putts. That's why we kind of do it on a spiral rather than just all on one straight line. See how many you hole, total up your footage and try to beat it next time. Okay, I did not make a lot of putts there. But actually, to be honest, I only felt like there was one I pushed. I feel like all the others were misreads. I don't know if that's really a good or a bad thing. At least it means I'm rolling the ball well. So given my score wasn't very good there, I'd definitely either do this again or put it down to do in my next practice session. But right now, we need to head to the tee. How insane does this hole look? I'm so excited to play this golf course. But I'm also thinking that I need to keep going with what I've been doing on the range and bring what I'm practicing to the golf course. So I've got the stick out and I'm going to do my drill out on the course for a few holes and see how we get on. Definitely doesn't look like you want to miss right here. So I'm going to adjust my target line a bit, probably left of the path. And let's see how we get on. I was definitely right at the stick. It's also right of this hole. But that's fine, it's fine. I took learn to accept bad shots. With those trees there, the only thing I'm doing here is practicing chipping out. Got the shape, but it affected my quality of strike. We are a long way short, but we're safe on the fairway. We'll take it. Yes! You love to see it. You don't understand how buzzed I am about that. It's so much harder to do these things right on the course. So when you nail it, it's just like, oh, feels incredible. Ooh, started right at the stick, finished left of it. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're working towards. So you've definitely seen me hit it around a stick enough today. So I'm going to move into some other performance drills that I like to do out on the golf course. Now we know if we look at the stats, the majority of golfers miss green short, and most of the time that's where all the bunkering and the hazards are. So it's not really the best decision. But I think a lot of us can get uncomfortable feeling like we have too much club stood on the tee or in the fairway, and then we don't want to commit to hitting it too long. So the drill I'm going to do here today is I'm going to hit 3 clubs to the same distance on the green, and that's really giving me the confidence, the feels, what tempo I need to do to slow down, to hit 1 or 2 clubs more to the same yardage as the actual club I would hit on the hole. It's going to give me more confidence when I'm playing in competitions to go up a club, slow down a little bit and hit a different shot. This can give you different trajectories, give you more ball speed to go through wind. It's going to give you loads of different options when you're out on the golf course, not necessarily just if you want to get further up the green, but also if you want to control the ball better in different conditions, especially into the wind or into crosswinds. First we're going to start 8 iron, then we're going to go 7 iron, then we're going to 6 iron. 6 iron for 140 is going to be pretty interesting. Loads of golf is just practicing different shots, so once you get out on the golf course and you need to hit that shot, you know how to do it and you feel comfortable doing it, because we know if we feel comfortable we generally make a better swing. And it's a good distance, but I hit it so far right. So I'm not sure that's really helped you with this game that much. 7 iron. I was going to have to slow this down a little bit. Or actually just hit it 10 foot past the pin, which really wouldn't be bad at all. Actually on the perfect distance. Shows you why you should club up. Right, lastly 6 iron. Pitched back, just rolled onto the fringe, but would definitely be perfect if it was into the wind, side winds, I just wanted to control the golf ball, or if it was a scenario where I really couldn't miss shot. So next time you've got a little bit of time to go out on the course and practice, try hitting different shots. It's going to improve your skill level and also give you more confidence to hit different options next time you're out on the golf course. Okay, pitching test 2, 110 yards. I'm going to stick to my pitching wedge, like soft pitching wedge, because I'm really trying hard to like go up a club and hit it softer rather than really force the distance with the shortest club possible. Hopefully it's going to help me get more consistent. Oh, lovely. I think the distance on that is perfect. Definitely went significantly further than my fat did on the range earlier. Now the last thing I'm going to do is just use the last few holes to practice a couple of short game shots that I didn't have the opportunity to do earlier, or situational shots that I see and think, oh, that would be really good to practice. So here I'm just going to practice some more long chip and runs, because it's one thing that's probably one of my weaknesses and I really want to work on. Try a few different setup positions to see which gives me like the right ball speed relative to this shot. And that was a bit too this way. Just going to give me more ball speed, so if I toe it up a little bit, it should slow it down. Just means I can have a little bit more of an aggressive swing, but it not come out quite as fast, which for me feels easier to control. Go in. Nearly. So this is a perfect example of a scenario I've been facing recently and haven't really known what to do. And the places I tend to practice don't really have this thick cut of rough right next to tight fairway. So I've had a few shots recently around the greens where I've been really close to like a cut of rough and it's meant I've had no backswing. I wasn't sure how to play it, so I'm going to go for 3 different options here and see what is the best. We've got putter, 7 iron and hybrid. Let's go putter first, because what I've been doing. The only problem I have with this is typically I have quite a long stroke and then quite slow through, and this doesn't really allow me to have like that full backswing. I just have to pick it up a little bit more. That's pretty good. I just feel like I just need to remember to hinge it more. 7 iron. I'll probably pretty much play this like a putting stroke too. And again with like that toe down position, I think it's a bit easier to arc this up above the cut of the rough. It came off extremely fast, but it got it moving. Right, last up, hybrid. I think this might be a really solid option, but I've been too scared to try this in tournament golf. So I need to do it in practice. I need to grip down it to kind of reduce the ball speed though. I think that's the one. Nearly boxed it. I would be so happy with that if I ended up in this scenario on the golf course. Hopefully this gives you a few ideas for how you can use your time on the golf course more effectively to improve your golf, rather than simply just playing golf every time. So I'm back at my hotel now after a full day of practice, and my last thing I'm going to do is just make some notes on the day and the things that I've learned. I'm also going to put my test scores down, so next time I'm out I can go back and check and see if I'm getting any better. And now if I was playing full-time golf right now, I would then take this, pull out the drills I want to do again and put them in blocks over the next week when I'm going to practice. Fortunately, I still work quite a lot, so I can't quite do that. But if you're someone who's trying to get on tour, maybe trying to get collegiate golf, really trying to get down to scratch, and you have more time to practice, it'd be really good to take blocks out that you think have worked really well here and plan them in for your next coming weeks or months of practice.